When Chester Beatty's collection of biblical papyri was properly studied, one of the most fascinating discoveries that scholars made concerned abbreviations. They noticed that there were certain names, they call them Nomina Sacra, or divine names, names associated with God, which were not written out in full, but which were abbreviated. The Greek words for God and Lord and Jesus and Spirit. Rather than writing them out letter by letter, just 1 or 2 or 3 letters were given and a line written above. Whatever the exact background of this practice, it's clear that the scribes, by abbreviating these words, are somehow venerating the divinity. They are, in a sense, veiling the presence of God in these texts. The divine presence peeks out, but we do not yet see God face to face. We could compare this practice with the contemporary Jewish practice of leaving out a letter when they write the word God. It's a way of recognizing that our words do not capture the divine nature. Interestingly, this practice seems to have been such a reflex for Christian scribes that it spills over even into non-divine contexts. So in Greek copies of the book of Exodus, for example, Joshua is referred to as Jesus, which is the same name as Jesus. And so there they abbreviate his name even though he's a mere man. And we find the Greek word for cross, stauros, being abbreviated as well, recognizing the importance of the cross for our salvation. This last word is abbreviated in a really interesting way though. 2 of the letters of this word, the tau and the rho, they are combined to form a single symbol or monogram. It's known as the Stereogram. And that symbol then begins to circulate independently as a symbol of the cross of Christ. We find it on coins and on oil lamps, for example. And the same happens with the letters chi and rho, the first 2 letters of the name Christos or Christ. We see this symbol turning up all over the place, and it's still used today. You'll have seen it surely in modern churches and investments and so on. And finally, the abbreviation for the name Jesus or Jesus is usually iota, eta, and sigma. Now, in some forms, this looks like the Latin letters IHS, and this explains this symbol that you will have seen everywhere if you've been to Catholic churches or if you're familiar with the history of Christian art. It's the symbol of the Jesuits to this day, and it's in the coat of arms of Pope Francis. So these little abbreviations, a way of honoring the Trinity, they would go on to have a very long history.